Facts.
And here we were again. And this is what they put us through. You know, I actually heard something throughout the week that Josh McDaniels had jumped onto the hot seat. I talked about that on one of my shows that actually the show is on right now. I gave a hot seat for 4 coaches in the NFL, and Josh McDaniels was one of them. But this game, because of the questionable play calling that we've seen, and because of the inability for the defensive coordinator to make the necessary adjustments, he had me nervous there in the second half, D, because you can't give up those long drives like that and continue to come out on the winning end of the stick. Overall, I thought it was a I thought it was a gut wrenching victory. And how many times, D, have we said, or have we ever really been able to say the defense seals it? But yet we said that the last 2 games.
Listen, I'm gonna be completely honest with you, bro. Like I said on the Ember podcast multiple times, bro, this team is in reverse. This team is completely in reverse. Our offense is stagnant, and our defense is helping us win games. As many years we talked about this defense getting worse and worse, this defense finds a way to win football games for us in the last 2 weeks. But even that in general, if you look at the 6 games that we played, we didn't really get blown out besides what the Buffalo game out of the 6 games that we played.
Hold on, D. Hold on, D. Real quick, D. My beautiful wife has just rolled into the studio, and she's probably wondering, what am I doing on a show on a Sunday? And it's because we won, and we're doing a Raider win post-game show. Post-game show.
You're damn right. Sorry.
I'm
sorry, but you're damn right. I had to do one real quick after I just sat here for almost 3 hours of doing the play-by-play.
Right. And you did and shout out to you, man, because you did a fantastic job with that. And I need to actually participate more in that because it was really, really dope.
I'm close. I got to figure out one more thing how to do it to get it to StreamYard to OBS. We could definitely do it.
Okay. Yeah.
But
so yeah, that was my question to you. You said that this team is in reverse because what we're used to seeing, we're not seeing, and what we are not used to seeing is what we're seeing.
Facts. That is a damn fact. And I'm gonna say, if you look at the 6 games that we played, we did not get blown out besides the Buffalo Bills game defensively. So our defense is holding up our end of the stick. It's our offense is not holding up their end of the stick. If we can get our offense to get flowing, our defense will be fine. But the problem, it's a lot of problems with this offense. I could go on and on about this offense for real.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Devontae Adams don't look happy. That's just my opinion. He doesn't look happy. But it comes to quarterback play as well. Jimmy G, the Anthony Davis of football, that's exactly what Jimmy G is. Sorry to say.
Mm-hmm. Holy cow. The Jets have gone up on the Eagles 20-14 with less than 2 minutes left.
There must be no undefeated teams in the league. 49ers already lost.
Right. But back to Victory Sunday. Devontae, he didn't look like he was happy to be there. Now I'm sure he's happy that we got the win.
Right.
But obviously Jimmy G has a major chemistry build up with Jacoby Myers.
Right.
And that's okay. But you can't forget about the number 1 receiver arguably in the league.
Exactly.
And to your point, he didn't look happy. And when on that last drive, when we ran the ball on 1st and 2nd down, and then you try to throw it on 3rd down, everybody knew that was coming. But on a couple of plays before we got down within the red zone, we threw the ball to Jacoby on the outside, and Devontae Adams was one-on-one on the left side with his man playing off and was wide open, and there was nobody else defensively on that side of the field. And it looks like to me that Brian Hoyer just kind of just stared Jacoby down and knew and said, "Yo, I'm going to Jacoby on this throw," and didn't even look Devontae's way. They better be careful, man, with that, because that could potentially blow up in their faces.
Yeah, agreed. 100%, man, 100%. But I do want to get into these, get into the box score. I don't know if you have it pulled up on your end, but I before we get into the box score, I really want to see the team stats, because that's what I really want to talk about. But I want to get into these comments real quick. So they did actually, Water King asked me the same question. Shakeback, did you also think the Raiders was going to crush the Pats and destroy the Pats 64-3? LOL.
Can I answer that question candidly, please?
Go ahead.
We haven't even scored 64 points total throughout the entire season. What in the world made you think that they would score 64 points in this game?
They said Adams is looking like New Orleans with Carr, like, can I bring Crosby? I think I know what he's talking about there. Dell Jr. says, I guess we can't trade Jimmy now that his back is hurt, huh? We're going to get into Jimmy G on that one, but make sure y'all go and subscribe to Shakeback Media Group. I did just add your social medias to the StreamYard, so okay, you're live on there as well. So he is live on Shakeback Media Group as well. Make sure y'all go and subscribe to the channel. But let's talk about these team stats, man. I'm gonna just run it down real quickly for y'all, just to give y'all a better understanding of how this offense is kind of like on the bad end, and our defense won the game for us. We had 19 first downs. 19 first downs. We was 8 of 16 on third down efficiency. We had 65 total plays with 348 total yards. We had 5.4 yards per play. That tells you enough. The red zone. That's the one I want to circle right there. The red zone.
Ooh,
man, 1 of 6 in the red zone. 1 of 6 in the red zone. So that means we made the trip 6 times. Well, 7 times, basically. 1 of 6. If you only scored 1 touchdown. We got 20 points by scoring 1 touchdown. It's kind of unacceptable at this point. And do I really, and I'm going to be completely honest, I don't think it was the play calling in the red zone. I think it was just lack of execution. People can blame Josh McDaniels. For me watching this game, I could say the only really questionable call I really had from Josh McDaniels is on the 3rd down in the 4th quarter. And they try to argue me with this on Nothing But Raider podcast and say that, oh, when Josh McDaniels calls a certain play, we're mad at it. No matter what, we're going to be mad at it. I'm at a place where it depends on the situation. Now, if you're 1st and goal on the 3-yard line, you're not having Aiden O'Connell or anybody throw the football on 1st and goal on the 3-yard line. That's where you run it and you live another day. That's what you do that. But in this situation, it's 3rd and 2. We at midfield, and you want to run the ball right there. I think you already ran the ball twice previously. So go with a play action and give it to Michael Mayer that had a great game today. Austin Hooper had a great game today. So people want to argue me that because, no matter what play that we call in that situation, Josh McDaniels is wrong. No, it's different between being 1st and goal on a 3 than being 3rd and 2 at the 50. It's a totally different scenario that you could have done. So 1 of 6 on in the red zone is bad. We did have 6 bad penalties for 42 yards. We both had both turnovers, but we did. Time of possession was almost the same: 27-48 for the Patriots, 32-12 for the Raiders. Now, as I break down all them team stats for you, What is your first initial thought about that?
Well, let me add one real quick, D, because I think this is important too. Is the fact that on offense we were 8 out of 16 on third down, which was, I think, very, very, very big.
Yeah,
We did give up the same percentage on defense, and a couple of those were because of penalties. One on Max Crosby there, down there in the red zone where he hit Mac Jones late. But what you're look, you were not gonna be able to beat the Kansas Cities and the Los Angeles Chargers and who else we got that's offensively proficient or explosive on offense that we got coming up. You can even throw in there because I think we got the Dolphins as well. Yeah, because we got the AFC East. So you can't go down there to the red zone and be 1 of 6 and expect to compete with those types of teams. You're gonna have to match 6 for 6. I'm like you. The play calling wasn't as terrible as it was this game, but in that critical juncture where that's the part where, okay, we're sweating bullets because we don't know what Josh is gonna do. We're over here hyperventilating and we're breathing in brown paper bags and stuff because we don't know what the call is going to be. And in that moment, it seemed like it was going to be just that. First down run, second down run, third down pass. Well, everybody knew that was coming.
right.
Everybody knew that was coming. I would have liked to have seen the young G get in there from Cincinnati, the draft choice. I can't never think of that dude's name.
Well, Tyree Wilson?
No. The receiver from Cincinnati.
Oh, Trey Tucker.
Yeah, Trey Tucker. I would have loved to see him in that moment on a jet sweep with some kind of play action or with some kind of motion to manipulate the eyes of the defense. I would have loved to see some ingenuity right there. This is what Josh McDaniels has been known for, his ingenuity on offense.
Yeah.
In that first down run, second down run, third down run, it reminded me of Les Miles at LSU, 3 downs in a cloud of dust. And that just you can't do that. But other than that, Jimmy G goes to the hospital again. He can't stay on the field. Now what are we gonna do? Because Brian Hoyer, that one pass that he hit to Jacoby though was money.
Right. Yeah, that was money. That was on point. Absolutely. Definitely on point. Definitely on point. But for me, I mean, if you want to look into this, into this box score, Jimmy Garoppolo was 14 of 22, 162 yards, a touchdown and an interception. And one thing I'm going to say, I still don't like our offensive line, but we didn't give up a sack today.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing I'm going to say. We still need to open up holes for Josh Jacobs, but we did not give up a sack today, no matter if it was Brian Hoyer or Jimmy Garoppolo. But Brian Hoyer, I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo ended up getting hurt. Like I said, he's made of glass like Anthony Davis as well. But, Brian Hoyer, 6 of 10, 102 yards. I can't be mad. He did go deep to Trey Tucker on that big play, which we will never see Jimmy G go deep like that. We won't. But I think we would have had another touchdown. Instead of throwing the fade to Jacoby Myers, you should have threw it to Mayer underneath where he had the one-on-one coverage in that situation. I think that would have been another touchdown there. That would have been a touchdown for us, but another it would have been Brian Hoyer getting his touchdown. Josh Jacobs, he did have 25 carries, 77 yards, but 3.1 yards of carries. Offensive line got to get better, man. Offensive line got to get better running the football. Got to get better. If we could keep up what we could keep up as far as not giving up, not getting sacks, and start opening up holes for Jacobs will definitely be fine. His longest wasn't 18. Trey Tucker had 1 carry for 4 yards. Zamir White had a couple carries. Brian Hoyer had a couple carries. Michael Mayer, 5 receptions, 75 yards on 6 targets. Jacoby Myers, 5 receptions, 61 yards, and a touchdown on 7 targets. Trey Tucker, 2 receptions for 57 yards on 2 targets. 5 targets for Devontae Adams, but 2 receptions for 29 yards. That's crazy to me.
Yeah, and I think we should be careful with that because I saw one of the overhead shots from CBS, and I would like to go back and look at it on the replay. They were doubling Devontae Adams all day long. They were double teaming him all night long. But the times that they weren't is when you have to give that dude a chance. And I don't think he's really tripping about not getting the opportunities when he's obviously double covered. But when he was open going across the middle on one of those drives, and then in that next to last drive when he was open at the top of the screen, or at the top of the screen,
Yeah,
you have to get him the ball. You have to get him the ball in those situations. So I think that because this was the same dude that just 2 weeks ago had 20 targets and had 13 receptions, and we were like, you need to spread it around. You need to spread it around. Well, this is what Bill Belichick does. He takes away the offensive player, the offense's best player, and he did that in this game as well.
Yeah.
Michael Myers stepped up big. I think Austin Hooper had one of those two catches was a big catch in that particular moment in time, and I'm hoping that now there's some momentum that will be gathered in the play calling with getting these tight ends more involved in the offense, because it opens up things on the outside when you have these dudes roaming through the middle and actually can manipulate linebackers and safeties.
Agreed. I agree on that. And even though that they even threw DeAndre Carter in there, that one drop that really kind of pissed me off with him, that one drop really got me. I was like, God damn it, DeAndre Carter. Now we finally throw to your ass and you can't catch. But that's another story for another time here. But if I have to give it to this defense, even though Max Crosby did have a crucial roughing the passer, which it was rough for the passer, but then again, it wasn't. But they was really, if you look at the refs in this game, they were being very ticky-tacky about the calls.
Mm-hmm.
They're being very ticky-tacky about the calls. So for me, Max Crosby, 7 total tackles, 4 solo, a half a sack, and he had a QB hit. But I don't know why he should have a half a sack. That should be 1 sack, in my opinion. Robert Spillane, he should have picked up that interception across the middle. Oh my God, that he should have picked that up. But Robert's playing 7 total tackles, 3 solo. Devon Diablo, 7 total tackles, 2 solo. Tyler Hall had a great game. 6 total tackles, 5 solo. So Tyler Hall was kind of really, really good, knowing that Nate Hobbs was not able to come and play today. Amik Robinson, 4 total tackles, 4 solo. Bilal Nichols had 2 solo tackles. Trayvon Merrick had a game.
Yeah, he did.
Even though he had 3 total tackles, but he had a game. He had a pick.
Mm-hmm.
He was all over the field. Even though with the cast on that risk, he still was able to play well. But this defense overall was really good. I'm not going to even lie. 1 reception for 22 yards. We didn't really do nothing on special teams, but Daniel Carson 4 for 4 as usual. He made up for last week. Definitely made up for last week. So, that's basically like statistically wise, but Max Pitt only crucial because everyone else failed. I disagree with that. I completely disagree with that because we were in a third down. We was in a third down situation.
Yeah,
where they just could have had to go for it on 4th down, and I would have been more comfortable doing that. But all you got to do is just. I understand you tapped them, but the rest was being ticky tacky all game. But at the end of the day, that's something that you just don't do in that situation.
And it wouldn't have been as bad nearly if the Raiders would have been able to keep him out of the end zone. If it would have just been, if they could have just held him to 3 points, then it wouldn't have. We probably wouldn't even be talking about it nearly as much as we are, only because it went from what looked like a definite field goal attempt to it being a touchdown. But he made up for it. He made up for it at the end by sealing the game. And again, I can't even remember the last time we have ever said as Raider fans, the defense has sealed the game.
Last week, Monday night.
No, but I'm saying, and we've done that 2 weeks in a row. Yeah, we've done it 2 weeks in a row. Yeah. So I understand that the offense is usually slower than the defense, but man, we're going into week 7. It's time for him to step it up. And in this offensive line, I'm telling you right now, dude, they made me so mad because they just the one penalty on Parham that sent it back to 2nd and 20 when we were inside the 15-yard line, and then we ended up having to settle for a field goal. You can't have penalties like that in those times, man. You just can't.
Right. You just can't. You can't have penalties in that situation. I understood. I understood if this was a situation where we in the third quarter and we got another quarter to play, but this was in the fourth quarter where we're up 19-10. 19-10. We could seal the deal right then and there and probably eat some of that clock up.
Well, actually, we were up 16-10 at that point.
No, we was up 19-10.
Wait a minute. Now, are you talking about you talking about the Max Crosby penalty?
Yes, it was 19.
Okay, yeah. My bad.
It was 19-10. It was 19-10. And if we would have sealed that and not got that penalty, forced them into a fourth down, they probably would kick a field goal, or they'll go for it, and we'll be better comfortable on defense to get a turnover on downs and run the clock out. But the Raiders got to be Raidering as usual. The Raiders are Raidering, and I'm not trying to be negative or nothing, but I'm just saying from what I've saw today, and I cannot wait to break down this film. I need for NFL Plus to have that bad boy up tonight. I want to see this. I want to see this film. I really want to see this offensive line because I'm not mad at the defensive line. Adam Butler got him a sack. Max Crosby was in on a few plays. John Jenkins got him a sack. So this defensive line is not playing bad either. Just I think all across the board, our defense is getting confident every week. I can't believe the Jets beat the Eagles and the Browns beat the 49ers. Crazy. That means there ain't no undefeated teams in the league no more. Good. I don't want to hear about, the Eagles is this and the 49ers is this. Screw that. They got L's too.
Yep.
They got L's and we win. That's all that matter. That's all that mattered, man. But is there any other spots that you felt about this game? Like if you had to give a game ball to someone on offense and defense, who would you give it to?
Well, I think you got to give a game ball to Carlson. You got to give a game, and kickers are people too, and they're also football players. That dude was 4-4, and the reason if you're giving a game ball to a kicker, that means somebody else or the offense as a whole did not do what they needed to do. So with that, because the offense as a whole didn't do what needed to be done, and the kicker had to come in and save the day, basically, I'm going to give a game ball to the kicker. And I know it's special teams, but, he put up more points by himself than the offense did.
That's an issue. It's a big issue with that. And the fact that it still gets me that we were 1 of 6 in the red zone. We should have blew these cats out, man. We really played down to competition. Half of their defense was gone on injuries. I wasn't afraid of Devontae Parker. I was not afraid of even Juju Smith-Schuster didn't play. I wasn't afraid of Kendrick Bourne, which Kendrick Bourne had a good game.
He did
have a good game, but I wasn't afraid of him. You know what I'm saying? Coming into this game, if you want to look at, let me see what he had. I think I got it right here.
It was 10 catches for 89
yards.
Yeah.
He still wasn't over 100 yards receiving, and we still kept him under 90 yards damn near. So I'm not mad at that, but I just think at the end of the day, offensively, we have to figure out something. I don't know if it's I just think it's a quarterback situation at this point, offensive line situation at this point. And no matter who's the quarterback back there, this offensive line needs to be better. It needs to be better. And even though Thayer Munford came in, he didn't play for Luminor didn't play today. So I'm trying to figure out what can we do to address this offensive line.
I think we probably need to do more combo blocks. And I don't know if the Raiders offensive line really is equipped or capable of doing that. I know there's a special skill set that you got to have in order to be able to do that. But if the Raiders' offensive line is able to execute those types of blocks, we know James is athletic enough to get a combo block and then get to the second level. We know that Miller is, because Miller got the bag for being the best offensive lineman on this team, right? And so we know that those two guys can. Now, what is the offensive coordinator and the offensive line coach doing to implement something like that into the system? Obviously, it would open up holes for Josh Jacobs. And again, Josh Jacobs is that back that he's very elusive and he can make people miss. On that 118-yard run, he made a couple people miss. Right. There were other couple 6-7 yard runs in here and there that he made people miss. That's what he does. Right. So I'm like you. I have to look at the replay and see where the movement issues are. If there are, well, we know that there are some there, but yeah, they gotta do better, man. This is not what we expected out of this unit after the type of season they put together last year, in spite of some injuries on that front.
Yeah, I'll be trying to think of ways to, like, what can Josh McDaniels do offensively to make this, like, I don't even know how to put it. What can he do to make this complex but a little bit more simpler? Like, is it
no, I don't think
you can make the like, I don't know. For me, I mean, the combo blocks really got to happen during the run plays, if I'm not mistaken. That's what
right. Yes.
About, right.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
so it has to happen. It has to. So basically, it has to happen around the way the offensive line got combo blocks, get up to the next level type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm good with that. But I mean, it's a lot. I really can't. This is what I've been saying, man. I've been saying this for the longest. It's good that matter of fact, let me just get to these comments real quick, because I really about it. Easier get rid of Jimmy G. Ask the Niners how they are doing without the mother effer. Let's be realistic though. Jimmy G had weapons around him, which he has weapons here, but he had an offensive line, and he doesn't have an offensive line here. But Jimmy G, I get what you're saying there. I get what you're saying. Spreading the ball around, that's true. I think a little bit more of Trey Tucker. Instead of using Trey Tucker one time in the jet sweep, I just think that one time it really sucks. He had a deep ball down the field by Brian Hoyer. I like that. But Josh McDaniels isn't the problem, guys. Trust me. He's doing the best that he could. I'm going to have to disagree with there.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to disagree there. And I'm going to have to say why. Because if you want to be completely honest about this, 1 of 6 in the red zone. 1 of 6. But at the same time, it could be player execution as well. Player execution could definitely be the reasoning why. Because people think that, it's all McDaniels. It's all McDaniels. Yes, McDaniels is part of it, but you got to execute what the coach calls. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, you gotta execute what the coach calls, and offensive line has not been executing. Unfortunately.
Yeah, and to that also, and shout out to Water King Anonymous, because he just subbed to the channel, so I don't want to piss him off and then he go and unsubscribe. But no, to your point though, man, I think and we're not really defending Jimmy G at all.
No.
And by insulting McDaniels, because two things can be true at the same time. And the fact of the matter is that if the play calling is questionable, then it's going to automatically make the quarterback look questionable, especially one that is of Jimmy G's tier or his skill set. He's not very mobile. He doesn't have a strong arm. He can't throw outside the numbers. So if you're down, if you're in that position and Josh is calling these plays that are absolutely opposite of what Jimmy does best or does well, then yeah, it's gonna be on coaching first, and then the actual player, because he's putting the player in a position to not be successful. I appreciate that, Water King Anonymous. He said I might never go to your channel again, but I won't unsub.
You know what? All right, so I'm just typing this up real quick. So yeah, I'm just trying to get this done. But I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, quick slants, you're absolutely right. What's up, Al Ghost? Al Ghost, what's going on, my brother? The lack of offense is concerning. I think that's what our biggest issue right now with this Las Vegas Raiders offense is, just the team in itself. Defense is playing up the part the last 2 weeks, and his offense struggled since week 1. If the team doesn't execute, that reflects on leadership and content of mediocrity. That is true too, but sometimes you pay these players to execute. We have over $100 million on offense.
Mm-hmm.
Some players have to execute as well. Yes, it falls on the coaches, but if the coaches call to play and you don't execute it, it really falls on you at the end of the day. Yes,
yeah.
And we get it that Josh McDaniels sometimes is very concerning about the calls that he makes. But in this game in particular, just this game in particular, I have to say, Josh McDaniels' play calling was not that bad until that 3rd and 2 in the 4th quarter.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, what's going on, Ray Love? What's up, man?
I was gonna add to the point about the defense.
Okay.
Coming into this game, the Raiders were 13th in the league in yards allowed. 13th.
That's on the defense side, right?
Yeah. So we are the 13th best defense in the NFL coming into this game.
In yards allowed.
That's huge.
We don't hear that a lot from our Raiders defense. We don't hear that a lot, y'all.
The last time we heard that was probably the 2001 season or the 2001 season.
Right.
In that game in the snow against these Patriots.
Facts. Agreed.
So yeah, it's frustrating in a sense. And I don't think we should continue to go down this negative Nancy avenue, because even though this game on paper we probably should have scored at least 30 points.
Mm-hmm. On paper, agreed.
Yeah.
Yes.
And even watching the game execution wise, we definitely should have scored 30 points. I mean, the fact that the defense is doing what the defense is doing, man, that is something to build upon. And that part of it is exciting to me, as having seen this for the first time in the first time in over. Look, the last time we saw this from a Raider defense, if you were just born, you can legally buy alcohol now.
Right. Right.
Oh my gosh. I'm just saying.
No, you're completely correct. You're completely correct. And I have to agree with you, man. Like not seeing this defense play like this in so many years, and now we get to see it for the last 2 games and come out with the win. It's exciting. And you know what? This guy said it the best on the offensive side. I don't want to take away nothing from the defense, but if Josh McDaniels get an offensive coordinator, even though he said he has one in Mike Lombardi, but we know Mike Lombardi don't call no goddamn plays. We know that for a fact. Mm-hmm. If we get an offensive coordinator, I think our offense would be fine. Josh McDaniels got to get out of his power struggle, because what is he reminding me of? John Gruden. He reminded me of John Gruden. at this point. Like you want to be the head coach, you want to call the offensive plays. Hire your offensive coordinator that's going to be creative and not be as complicated as the offense is, then it'll be fine. But I think Vegas, he said, I think Vegas will ever become an NBA or MLB team. Well, the A's are moving there, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, the A's have already bought territory on the same side of the freeway as Allegiant Stadium, just north of it. So the A's are definitely moving the leases up in that venue that you can see in my background. That the lease is up on that venue after next season. So the A's definitely will be leaving Oakland and headed to Vegas.
Yep, and that's exactly what is happening with us at that point. Well, I'm not an A's fan. I mean, I don't know if Willie is.
I am. I definitely am.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I definitely am.
I bless you, sir. I bless you, sir. I love their colors. Don't get me wrong; they got some of the best colors in baseball. But I pray for you. I pray for you as an A's fan. But what a great analogy, Shake Back. I always dreamed about drinking when I was a baby. Water King Anonymous is something else, bro. He is really something else. So he said the Browns, Raiders, and Jets all have good defenses. What world are we living in? Wait a minute there.
The Jets have historically had good defenses, man. You got to think back to when Rex was there as the head coach. They had one of the, I mean, Bart Scott. You remember the coin phrase, can't wait, when they went into Foxborough and beat New England and then went out to Pittsburgh and got beat. But the Raiders more so than anybody else. And the Browns, well, they did their thing today against the Frisco 49ers. So
always had in the last couple of years, I say the last 3 years, the Browns had a good defense. Offensively, they just couldn't get nothing right.
Oh, okay. This comment from Sinkasal. The A's backed out of that site. Okay, and now looking at the corner of Tropicana and LV Boulevard. Okay, so it's back on the other side of the freeway. Okay, thanks for that update, man. Appreciate that.
And Algo says, should Hoyer start going forward? I'm going to let you take the floor on this one real quick, bro. I'm going to let you take the floor on this one.
The Raiders might have to go to a 2-quarterback system.
What?
I'm just joking. You know what? Obviously, Aiden O'Connell is not quite ready. And it may be because, he kind of reminds me of Derek Carr a little bit. And
Brian Hoyer?
No. Aiden O'Connell reminds me. It may be
okay, because we're in number 4, of course.
They kind of look alike too in the face. I was like, we still got Derek Carr. But anyway, should Brian Hoyer start going forward? No, I don't think he should start going forward. I mean, you gotta keep Jimmy G back there and bubble wrap him and hope that he doesn't get hurt and try to call plays that won't result in interceptions, even though the one today was not his fault. I think you got to continue to go with Jimmy G because realistically, which one of these 3 quarterbacks gives us the best chance to win? That's how you have to look at it.
Yeah. And right now, in my opinion, I don't know if Jimmy G is going to play because, I mean, he went straight to the hospital after halftime. So I don't know if he's going to play. I just feel like whoever has the better week in practice, that's the person that should start.
Yeah, and when you go straight to the hospital because of a back injury, it's probably not your back. That sounds like an organ thing to me. A kidney, a spleen, something internal, maybe ribs, who knows? Again, I don't want to speculate, but you very rarely see a player get taken directly to the hospital from just a back injury.
Right. And for me, Jimmy, like I said, Jimmy G, every time he gets hit, I get nervous.
Every time he drops back, I get nervous. Every time he takes the snap, I get nervous.
When he gets his little tapping of the feet, where he's like he's playing a Nintendo track and field game. That's how he be looking back there with his feet, and he just be getting so nervous. And I don't want to take nothing away from this win because, I mean, the defense did what they're supposed to do. They got us over 20 points for the first time since last year. All year. So, but we got to be concerned about the offense. But I'm going to take this win. I'm going to take it because the fact that we 3-3 and we probably possibly could be second in the division if the Dallas Cowboys do what they need to do tomorrow. This will be the first time I'm actually rooting for the Dallas Cowboys. This is the first time I'm actually doing it.
I can't do it, bro. I cannot do it. And
you would not be rooting for the Chargers. Absolutely not.
This is the thing, though. I'm gonna tell you why. If I was living anywhere else other than Dallas, I can't stand Dallas Cowboys fans. I can't stand them.
I don't care about their fans at this point. The fact that we could get back into the division and be second in the division to beat the Chargers, I'm gonna have to swallow my pride at this point.
And I go to church with so many fans of the Cowboys, man, and I just be waiting to troll them on Sunday mornings. You know what I'm saying? So I'm caught, man. My head says one thing, but my heart says another, and it gives me so much pleasure, dude. Because if they play on a Monday night and they lose, the whole city is like in a depression the next day. Like last Monday, I'm like, where y'all at? Can't find y'all. You know, before the game, you're going to the Super Bowl, and after the game, y'all all go into hiding. And I absolutely love it because they suck. So
the fact that for me, that I just want the Chargers to lose. Dallas, listen, y'all better not lose Monday night. Y'all better not lose. The fact that we are 3-3 through 6 games, we are at 500. How are you feeling going into Week 7 against Chicago? How are you feeling going into this game?
That game is in Chi-Town. That doggone Justin Fields, man, he's been playing pretty good. I think they got buzzsawed by, or actually they buzzsawed the Commanders on Thursday night, but
end up losing to the 1-4 Panthers today.
Yeah. No, the Panthers played the Dolphins.
I mean, the Vikings, the 1-4 Vikings.
Yeah. But look, Chicago has one of those types of quarterbacks that can beat you with his legs and his arm. That always makes me nervous. They actually have playmakers in that offense. They have DJ Moore. They have Cole Kmet. So in their quarterback, I mean, he can get the ball to him. And I'm not really afraid of their running game, and their offensive line is not that great. So Max Crosby should be able to
get it in. Ours.
Yeah, he should be able to get it in, man. But again, this is the reason why we as Raider fans need counseling because we go into these types of games saying, yo, we should beat this team. We should beat this team and go to 4-3, in which we very easily could be at this point. We very easily could be 5-1 right now.
Right.
Very easily. But again, it's our team, and our team has a propensity to do this to us. And we've seen the movie 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 30,000 times.
Right.
My heart can't take anymore. So how do I feel about the game? I'm nervous because I know it's a game we should win, but I'm nervous because I don't want the Raiders to go out there and do Raider things that we've seen in the past.
I mean, Justin Fields was only 6 of 10 for 58 yards, and he was sacked 4 times. I'm just saying.
Against the
Vikings defense, that's damn near worse than ours.
Well, I mean, hey, we got a good defense now. So
that's what I'm saying. Like, as far as defensively, I feel confident going into the Chicago game. Offensively, I don't feel confident going into the Chicago game because if we can't listen, if we only score 1 touchdown, we're not winning that game. We got to score at least two touchdowns and some field goals. I'm fine with 2 touchdowns and field goals.
And Chicago's defense is 25th in the NFL in yards allowed coming into week 5. So,
listen, I'm not
again,
going to pull up that comment, but Devontae Adams is hurt and he's not a pussy. Sorry to say that. He's
wait a
not.
minute, what?
That's what Francisco Casco said. I'm not going to pull up that comment. Devontae Adams is hurt and a pussy. That's what he said. And I don't know where you came from, bro, but I don't know what you've been watching the last 5 years, but you've been smoking crack.
That dude got hit on that catch that ended up in the interception. Yo, did you see the hit?
Yeah, I seen the hit.
Yeah, did you all? And then when was it? Who was it against? It was against the Broncos a few years ago. It was Woodward, the linebacker from the Broncos that illegally hit him in the head and knocked him out.
I think he got hit in the head, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he got hit in the head against the Broncos that game.
Right. I think he got hit in the head. Don't get me the lying on there. But the fact that the people say they call, I mean, I understand that as a Raiders fan, I'm not sitting him. Why would I sit Devontae Adams? The man want to go out and play every game. Why would you want to go out there and sit him? That's stupid.
Yeah, and in today's game, with all due respect, Francisco, in today's game, he was being double teamed all over the field. He was being double teamed all over the field, and the other Raiders did what the other Raiders are supposed to do, and they stepped up in his absence, or in his in Bill Belichick doing what Bill Belichick does when he focuses on the best offensive player on the other team. That's what he does.
Let me say this: it's a difference between being hurt and being injured.
Say that.
It's a big difference. Devontae Adams could go out there and play a football game. That means he's only hurt. He's not injured. Injured is that you have to go to the hospital and you broke something, or you have a bad concussion. That's injured. Or you tore an ACL, or you tore a pectoral, or you got to get surgery. That means that you're injured. But if you hurt, you play through that shit.
Yep. Because if he wasn't playing through it, you have something else to say.
Exactly. We're not going to sit here and do that to Devontae Adams. The man's a dog.
And on top of that, just him being in the game affects the game itself because of what he brings to the table.
Why do you think Michael Mayer was able to be open 5 receptions for 70-something yards? Because they was doubling Devontae Adams. Why did Jacoby Myers was able to go off? Because they're going to double Devontae Adams.
Last game, he didn't do anything. Also, you can tell he's hurt. Okay.
But the impact that he put as a receiving core, even though that he's hurt or not, please, come on, man. The name himself, Devontae Adams. That's who they game plan for.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's I probably have to turn my mic down or whatever. I don't know why is that sound going like that. But hey,
my phone is buzzing on my desk, man. My bad.
No, that's me too, man. And my phone's actually crazy too. But thank God for tacos. Simple as a drunk man could do it. You know what? Salute Ozzy. Facts. But I wanted to get to this last comment. Bottom line is player execution. People want to blame the coaches, but at the end of the day, QB is throwing, offensive line is blocking, running back is running, not the play calls that has guys open where the offensive line don't block. I agree, and then I'll disagree with you. I think Josh McDaniels is a bad play caller when it comes to certain situations.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to situational football, he don't know how to call plays in situational football. But I agree with the execution. So it's 50-50 for me. Player execution and player coaching. I mean, coaching.
That's that thing that can that's that thing that two things can be true at the same time.
Right.
That can happen. Again, it's going to fall on the coach because the coach is the one that's pulling the strings.
Mm-hmm.
So if you got 31 personnel in the game, 1 running back, 3 tight ends, and they've got 9 people in the box, and you try to run it up the middle, You got to check out of that, man.
Exactly.
You got one-on-one on the.
That's what I mean by that.
You got one-on-one on the. But you have to, because we know that the microphone from the offensive coordinator to the quarterback turns off at 14 seconds left on the play clock.
Right.
But while they're in the huddle, or even before they even get to the huddle, while the play clock is being restarted, and the communication is going on from upstairs to the sideline to the quarterback. That's why they call 2 plays in a huddle before they actually break the huddle and then go to the line of scrimmage to check out of something. It doesn't look like that's happening with us, because when you have, and it was one of those runs by Josh Jacobs that it was actually on that next to the last drive when there was no chance he actually lost a yard. It was third and 3, and it wound up going to 3rd and 4 because the Patriots overloaded that side of the line, and there was no way for him to get freed up. Josh wasn't going to elude anybody in that situation. So 2 things can be true at the same time, and the fact of the matter is that if the coach isn't giving the quarterback the authority to make those checks at the line at that particular time for that particular situation, then that's on the coach.
Right. Is all about situational football at the end of the day. Now, Francisco said we made the Patriots look like the Chiefs, man. Zeke old ass running all over us. Even though that run was really big, and I was really like upset about that, but the fact that it got called back, we can't dwell on shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
We just can't dwell on it. If we made the Patriots look like the Chiefs, why the Patriots did not score 30+ points?
Why did Mac Jones throw that interception? Why did that dude who was it? Devontae Parker
the pass.
Why did he not make that catch then if the Patriots were looking like the Chiefs? If we make Patriots, why in the world is it that Jacoby Myers averaged only 8.9 yards per reception?
Exactly. It's a lot of things that you could put in there. Yo, y'all's really talking about food in this chat right now. I don't really understand it. The offensive line needs to hold the line and give the QB time to scan the field. That's why I think the only problem with this offense right now is that the quarterback just does not have enough time to scan the field. But this is how you make that adjustment. When your offensive line is not that great, you get into some screens, get the ball out quickly for your quarterback.
Do some tempo stuff.
Up tempo. We've seen it a few times where the Raiders went up tempo and we was able to execute. Josh Jacobs was able to run through the holes. I just think our offense is a bit slow, and we're not keeping up with today's offenses to be a little bit more quicker.
Right.
It should no way that we should be snapping the ball at 5 seconds on the play clock. You do that when you're winning big. But the fact that our sense of urgency is so slow on offense, that's the problem. But he responded to us. He said, that's all but the QB not audible play. You can't say Jimmy G doesn't have the authority to audible. He just doesn't do it because he sucks. And just like he misses open receivers in other games.
Again, 2 things can be true at the same time.
At this point.
2 things can be true at the same time.
Yeah, 2 things can be true at the same time. But I know football is on. Just watch the Dolphins. Josh McDaniels. You mean Mike McDaniels?
Yeah, Mike McDaniels.
Mike McDaniels. He learned from a successful offensive coordinator in Kyle Shanahan in San Francisco. If you look at the weapons in Miami and you look at the weapons in San Francisco, they identical. They damn well identical. We don't have that same. If you look at it on paper, our offense is just as identical as those two. But the difference between those offenses and our offense is the lines.
They got a lot more speed than us, though, man. I mean,
we don't use our speed. We got DeAndre Carter and Trey Tucker, and we don't use it.
The Dolphins are a track team, And the reason the biggest thing is their number one receiver is the fastest dude on the planet.
This guy,
Mike McDaniels.
I don't see. I'm about to get into my coaches mode, and I'm really about to get like I'm really about to explode up here. Josh Jacobs got his money. He's running like shit.
What game are you watching, sir?
What are you watching, bro? Yeah, I say this every week on a podcast. And this doesn't go for Raiders football. This goes for football in general. If your offensive line does not work, the rest of the skill players does not work. That goes for your quarterback. That goes for your running back. That goes for your tight ends. That goes for your receivers. If your offensive line can't block, nothing works.
Yeah, Gunsmoke. We do got the Miami Dolphins because we have the AFC East this year on the schedule. Yes. Yep. But hey, man, our defense is playing good, so let's see what happens. Let's get there. I don't know what I don't know. I don't know if Francisco is just watching. Is he just reading the paper?
I think he is. I think he's just reading the paper. He's not actually. I don't know if he played a game of football in my life.
In his life.
So but play calling and a play calling like in certain situations got to get better. In our offensive line, I don't know who our offensive line coach is, but he needs to be fired at this point. He needs to be fired. I'm sorry. He needs to be fired. I agree with that statement. Elite running backs run better than JJ against the same lines or even worse. Look at Henry and the Titans offensive line is mid. I'd rather us to be a mid offensive line than be a terrible offensive line. And I'll be okay with us being mid.
But on that comment right there, though, the Texans, the Titans offensive line is really not as bad as one would think, and it's not that great either. Their quarterback is horrible. So it's easier to stack the line against a Tennessee Titans club because they don't have any. DeAndre Hopkins
don't have nothing else.
He's never been a guy that just would scare you to death with his speed. And he's a great route runner, and he catches the 50-50 balls.
Right.
But outside of that, they don't. I mean, the kid from the University of Arkansas, what's his name? Traylon Burks. I mean, he hadn't really shown us.
He was out today too.
Yeah, he hasn't really shown us in his body of work that he is worthy of the spot that they drafted him at. And you think about it, they traded A.J. Brown to Philly and then drafted this dude. Who do you think won that trade?
Oh, we already knew the Eagles won that trade. That's a fact. Raider Twan said, do you count this offense for the 21 points? No. I counted as special teams and defense.
Yeah.
Special teams and defense.
16
field goals is considered special teams, but I don't consider this offense to score 21 points. I don't count that.
14 points rather. Yeah.
Not even 14, 10.
No, Carson had four field goals.
So we only scored one.
And then the safety. So between the special teams and the defense, that's 14 points. We scored 21 as a whole. That means the special teams and the defense scored more than the offense did.
I'm sorry, Port, but our offensive line is not mid.
It's below mid.
It's below average. It's below mid.
Their names
between the Titans offensive line and the Raiders offensive line, Derrick Henry can find some holes. Josh Jacobs can't find shit. It looks like we're playing pop water football where we all just wedge and he just bullies through. That's what it looks like. And our offensive line look Pop Warner.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like. There's no combo blocks. There's no zone schemes. There's no going to the next level. It's none of that. It's just point of attack and just bully the people and just wedge. That's what our offensive line look like.
Now, Francisco, you said something right there, sir. Man, I'm just frustrated. We can be way better. That's it.
That's what it is.
That's the narcotic that we are all hooked on and have been hooked on for the majority of our lives. So by you saying making that statement, sir, you have made up for all of the other statements that you made previous to that one. That can be justified.
But at the end of the day, man, I think all of us are just frustrated. But at the same time, we got to celebrate the win.
Yeah, we got to win today.
It wasn't a perfect win on how we wanted it, but we got the win, and we at 500.
And we got a Bears team that's pretty bad next week on both sides of the line.
So, because when I look through the stretch of these games, the hardest game that should be is Detroit. That's the hardest game that should be. If you look at the last couple of games, I think we played New England, we played Chicago, then we played Detroit. A win is a win. I don't care if we won 2-0. A win is a goddamn win. I'll take it. If it's 3-0, I'll take it. If it's 1.5-0, I take it. It's a W at the end of the day.
So look at this. We have at the Bears, at the Lions on Monday Night Football. Then we're home to the Giants and home to the Jets. Now we did see the Jets beat Philadelphia today. So look, Zach,
a good defense.
Yeah, they have a great defense.
Yeah.
But realistically, coming out of that 4 stretch of games, we could very easily be looking at 6-2 or
5-1 or something like that. Because it's 5 games. It's 5 games.
Yeah, but so that would put us at 7-4.
7-4. Yep.
And then it gets real. At the Dolphins versus the Chiefs, home to the Vikings, home to the Chargers, at the Chiefs, at the Colts, at the Broncos, and then we wrap it up.
We could beat the Colts. I think we could beat the Colts. I think we could beat the Broncos, and we can beat out of those games. I think we could beat the Colts, beat the Broncos, and beat the Vikings.
I think we can beat the Chargers.
Jefferson's on IR for the next 4 weeks.
Yeah, he may be back by he may be back by then. We'll see.
Yeah, he might be back by then, but that team is just not good in itself when it comes to Minnesota.
Yeah.
Y'all think Garoppolo can be back though? I'm nervous every time he steps out on the football field.
Even in practice.
I mean, you pay him that money to be the starting quarterback. You get what I'm saying? You pay him to be that starting quarterback. But at the end of the day, I mean, I'm just as nervous. I'm just as nervous.
Mm-hmm. You got my attention is being split between this show and the ALCS, between the Rangers and the Astros. Any baseball fans in the chat?
Oh, Phillies, baby. We about to go back to the series. Come on now.
I love what Philadelphia is doing, but that Arizona Diamondbacks team, they excite me, boy. They excite me.
Yeah, they excite you, but I mean, one thing about the Phillies, we always underdogs coming into the postseason. You know that.
Yeah,
we's always the underdog. So we let us keep being the underdogs. Let us keep being it, because just because they Diamondbacks is on their high horse by beating the Dodgers, we are a different breed than what the Dodgers are.
I agree, and not to stray too far off the beaten path. I actually think the Phillies are going to go return to the World Series. And any baseball fans in the chat, I got a hashtag Brothers of Baseball show on tomorrow where we'll be doing a complete NLA and ALCS preview. Even though game 1 for the ALCS is already underway, we're still going to do our preview. It's going to be me and the hashtag Family of Baseball family. As a matter of fact, it'll be like 6 of us on the show tomorrow, so it'll be on at 6:00 Central Time, Dallas time. So make sure y'all check us out. We'll be on YouTube and Twitter.
But I am going to head out of here because it is getting a little late. Yeah, and, I know it's like 7 at your time, but it's 8 my time. I get up at 4:45 in the morning every day, 5 days a week. So I've definitely got to get my rest. But let them know where they can find you at, brother. Let them know where they can find you at.
Oh, excuse me. Well, it's right there on the screen for Instagram at Shakeback Media Group, all spelled out. For Twitter, it's SHKBKMEDIAGRP, and that's only because Twitter will not allow me to spell out the whole entire thing. Hit me up on the YouTube channel, man, and I got 2 new subscribers just from being on the show, man. So shout out to you, D, for pumping that up for me. And let's just keep growing, man, and keep doing big things, and that's what it is.
So before we go, are you available Thursday for a quick show?
Thursday, what time?
It doesn't matter. I mean, anything after 3:30 is fine with me. Or if you can you do Friday, like early Friday? Because I get off of work at 11:30 because the kids get out early. I should be home between 1 and 2 o'clock.
Thursday might be better as long as it's before. I got the Real Moms of the Shield show at 7 o'clock on Thursday. So as long as it's between like 4 and 6:30 my time, I should be good to go.
And look who just popped in at the last minute, man. Look who just popped in at the last minute.
What's the deal?
Show. Raider Rundown, man. This is the first time, man. I'm sorry, man. I was about to end the show, but you came on last minute. Just give us your quick recap, because I know you went live real quick. So just give us your quick recap, man.
Man, I just popped in just to see what's going on. But quick recap, man. I can't really be too mad because I said I want a convincing win, but Jimmy went out, halfway. So at the end of the day, win is a win. I'm of the mindset that I'm trying to go all in on this defense. So today just, made me even more convinced to say that we got to get another edge rusher or something up in here, right, to help Max Crosby, because we see in the defense 2 straight weeks finally finish games, and we're not used to seeing shit like that. So, I'm all in. I want to see somebody come in, especially, when you got $13 million of Hunter Renfrow sitting on the bench not using, right? So I feel like it's time to use that. But I'm cool. We finally got a win, right? And we finished the game on our own terms, not in no fucking heartbreak fashion like we're used to. So I'm cool, but the offense definitely still got to get their shit together, though.
Straight like that.
Straight like that, man. Because like I said, like even though I think it's really our offensive line and execution on the offensive side of the ball has been the biggest issue. Because if you look at it, this defense didn't really give up a lot of points in the last 2 weeks. So our defense is playing lights out right now.
Yes, sir. I think right now they're playing the best I've seen them play. They sticky. They getting pressured. Like these D tackles are finally coming in and causing disruption. And this is why, I know a lot of people be like, we need a D tackle. We can stick with Malcolm Coons, but I didn't hear a lot from Malcolm Coons today, where we got the majority of the pressure was from the middle with John Jenkins and, Bilal Nichols sighting today, finally. Andrew Butler, you know what I mean? Like, these guys starting to show their ass. I think, finally we starting to see that. But I think with another edge in here, somebody who can cause disruption with Max, we're going to be real scary.
Yeah. And then you got to think, too, that at some point we're going to get Nate Hobbs back, too.
Yeah. And I was saying on my channel, even when he comes back, I would still keep playing Tyler Hall. I don't know why he's been on the practice squad this whole entire time, but Tyler Hall is nice.
Yes. Yeah, I was kind of nervous when he got hurt. I was like, oh, man, here we go. Man. But he came back in and he balled out, man. He balled out. Now, my question to you is this real quick. So I did ask Shakeback Media Group the same question. Now, that fade to Jacoby Myers in the red zone, do you think Hoyer should have went to Mayer there instead of going to Myers on that fade?
Yeah. And I've been a big supporter of Mayer this whole time. Right? Ever since we drafted him, I'm like, this is the guy that I'm like, this is the guy who can succeed. Finally, this week, we're starting to see what I think most of us have been preaching for weeks. This guy's been open this whole time. This whole season, he's been open like this. But we're finally starting to give him the ball and do that. But I definitely think we missed a lot of opportunities. Because what we have, like seven times red zones.
Yes.
Yeah.
7.
So we were 1 for 7 or something like that. So we only had
1 for 6.
1 for 6. If you convert at least 3 of those, this isn't even a game at that point. You know what I mean? Like, if you're at least 3 for 6, 3 for 7 or something, this ain't no game. We're not even competing with them. So, yeah, we're missing opportunities, but I definitely think you're correct. We should have went to Mayer for sure.
Let me ask you a question, Raider Rundown. Because we had somebody in the chat that was talking about Devontae, and if he's injured, he shouldn't, or if he's hurt, he shouldn't play. And we kind of went through the spiel about the difference between injured and hurt. How much effect do you believe just having Devontae Adams in the mix helped open up that middle for those tight ends today?
Now, yeah, I mean, 100% of it. I mean, not if not 100, at least 90% of it is him opening the field up. And I know a lot of people are concerned about his usage at this point and his targets, but I said this before the game: we're better when we spread the wealth, right? And I know this is a guy that, I mean, he warrants getting 8 targets, right? He warrants that, but this offense is better when you spread the wealth and get multiple people involved. We saw it today. Trey Tucker, finally, you get him the ball, right? Michael Mayer gets the ball. I even like Austin Hooper. Let him do something, right? I mean, DeAndre Carter dropped something, but he would have been still running if he would have caught that, right? And there's multiple guys on this team that I think you can give the ball to. And Devontae is a big part of some of that opening up because there's double coverage to his side. So I think even if he's injured to a degree, he's the best decoy in the NFL. I mean, regardless of it. Even if he is injured, there's nobody like Devontae Adams to just take double coverage and open everything up.
And that's what he just said. He said Jacoby Myers is succeeding because Tay is out there. That's a fact.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I like the fact that they are starting to spread the ball out a little bit more. I mean, you got Michael Mayer in the second round. You got to utilize it. You brought in a veteran, Austin Hooper. You have to utilize these other receivers. Now, I'm kind of mad at DeAndre Carter dropping that opportunity to get a first down, but you got to make the best of your opportunity. That's why they put you out there to use that speed. So if we could get more of these guys involved in the offense and stop worrying about what Devontae Adams can do, we'll be fine. But I think we could get up and down the field. It's just red zone woes has been our issue as Raiders. It's always been an issue with us. If we could get that better in some way, we could score 4 field goals today. I mean, that's go crazy for us right now.
And I think also, guys, where a frustration can really easily set in is because of the dude that's calling the plays. You had this scheme when you were in New England that was prolific in featuring these 2 tight ends, and you have these 2 tight ends here, and it seems like all of a sudden you forgot how to call plays in order to utilize their skill sets in the middle of the field. So I think today was hopefully it was an eye-opening experience for Josh, for him to say, you know what, man, this looks familiar. I think I've done this before. Oh, yeah, I did win how many Super Bowls? 5, 6 Super Bowls doing this. So, come on, man. I know if we can see it, you got to be able to see it.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, I agree with you. And I know a lot of people want to push and say the offensive line is terrible. And don't get me wrong, they are not the best offensive line in the world. But there are worse offensive lines than our offensive line. I think sometimes the play calling doesn't put us in a good position enough to be able to take advantage. Like, for example, that 3rd and 2 towards the end of the game. Me personally, I didn't like that run call. I would have ran a play action. That's me. That's me personally, because it's like, I think everybody in that stadium, Patriots included, and us watching the game, knew exactly what the hell the call was. We all knew. I called that out as soon as they lined up. I was like, they're about to run the ball. Like, I already knew. And I'm like, if you would have just maybe have the balls or something to play action the ball. Michael Mayer and Austin Hooper had been killing all day. You can't tell me they can't win on no type of out route or something, right? Something quick. But I just think certain times the play calling, like you said, puts us in a bad position.
Yeah, it does. And I had this. I don't know if you watched the show the other day when I did the Nutmeg Radio podcast. I was trying to tell Chris from Protect the Show podcast, like, I like Josh McDaniels play calling, but it's in situations that I have an issue with. Now, if it's 1st and goal on the 3, I'm going to run the football with Josh Jacobs and live another down. But if you're right there on the 50 and it's 3rd and 2, and they know that we're going to run the ball, we got to check out of that and do
play action that, bro. Yes. Don't be predictable. You know what I mean? There's a number of teams in the league that are not predictable. I mean, even if that's the time if you would have gave Trey Tucker one of them goddamn fly sweeps. I mean, at that point, like, we could have just did that. You know what I mean? Like, it's one of those. But see, this is the thing. It's too predictable at times, bro. And that's the shit that kills us.
And you can tell this is too predictable when you know that the offensive line is unbalanced and you have like 2 tight ends, or you have 2 tight ends to one side or 2 tight ends to the right side, or you have even Jacob Johnson in there in an odd formation. You obviously know that we're running the football.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah, Mumford's in as the extra tight end. You're like, okay, yeah, well, yeah, it's time to run the football at that point. I mean, we're not that type of team. Now, if we had a road grading offensive line, I'd be like, well, for sure, let's do it. I don't care. But, we don't have that type of team. You got to keep them off balance.
Facts. But what are your quick thoughts going into the Chicago game? How confident are you going into the Chicago game?
Well, I was saying just right now on my channel, we was having a little debate. All right, now, to me, I don't think Jimmy is not going to be playing for an extended period of time, especially when you leave the game the way he left. You got to go to the hospital. It's like it's probably going to be multiple weeks. Now, I know Brian Hoyer looked good. I'm not confident in the full quarters of Brian Hoyer. I'm just not. Right? And he had this whole half, but the full 4 quarters, I don't know. Me personally, I would play Aiden O'Connell, but a lot of people are nervous, right? They're like, what if we lose the game? What if we lose the game? I mean, what if we lose the game with Brian Hoyer? It's the same thing. I mean, I don't think Brian Hoyer is going to do anything that Aiden O'Connell wouldn't do, right? That's just me personally. I think he's a better option for us to open the field up more and see more potential in the offense. Now, I can see it going the other way, Brian Hoyer playing, but regardless of it, I think the Raiders need to come out with a win. I mean, the Bears might not even have Justin Fields. He might be out. So if he's out and they playing that undrafted quarterback over there, then you have no excuses. This defense, you just came in here and held Mac Jones to 17. So he better not come out here and exceed that. That's just all I'm saying.
And here's the thing too with that. These are the types of games that make Raider fans nervous.
Yep.
Going to a team and if Fields doesn't play, yeah, that will bode well for us. But here's the thing too, is that our offensive line has to have it in their mind that we're either going to be starting a dude that has played for every team in the NFL, USFL, XFL, and the YFL, and is 406 years old, or we're going to be playing a dude that has only had one start, although he was a star at Purdue. This is not the Big Ten, brother. This is the NFL. Right. And we saw him make some critical mistakes against the Chargers. So the offensive line's got to be like, yo, we need to open these holes up.
Step up.
Josh. We need to open these holes up for Zamir or for Abdullah. We need to open these holes up for White. We need to be able to run the football so we can utilize our tight ends on these crossing routes and these drag routes, and then get some one-on-one opportunities with Myers and or Devontae on the outside. That's what the offensive line needs to be thinking about at this point. And just saying, you know what? It's on us, fellas.
Yeah, you're not lying.
But it takes away, it really helps our quarterbacks too, like Aiden O'Connell and Brian Hoyer. If you establish a running game, it makes the reads a little bit easier for them as well.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Because it's all about security at the end of the day. And Josh Jacobs, he really don't fumble the football like that. If you could get him at least 4 or 5 yards of carry and keep that momentum going, it takes a lot of pressure off your quarterback as well.
Yep. I completely agree.
But I right before you came on, I was heading out though. But
no, let's go. Yeah,
let the people know where they can find you at, because I know you're right there, almost at 900 subscribers, bro. Let them know where they can find you at, brother.
Oh man, tap in with the kid. The Raider Rundown, that's the YouTube. At Raider Rundown 2, that's the Instagram. At Raider Rundown 4, that's the Twitter. And I'm on TikTok, the Raider Rundown. You feel me? Just follow me everywhere. I post daily. If you like some of the takes I had today, I definitely got some spicy shit coming tomorrow, man. Definitely some trade candidates that we need to go towards, man, because it's time to go all in on this defense.
Willie, let them know real quick where they can find you at again, brother. I know we did it before, but I want to make sure they heard you. And I added him to our Raiders Talk chat too.
Beautiful. Get everybody, man.
Yeah. You see it on the screen there at Shakeback Media Group on Instagram, at Shakeback Media Group on Twitter, spelled out SHKBKMEDIAGRP, because Twitter has a character issue. I don't mean that. I don't mean that literally, but Yeah, I need to follow you, Raider Rundown. If I'm not already doing so, I will go do that as soon as we jump off air, and I hope that you can return the favor for your boy.
Oh yeah, you already know, bro. If you in that chat, if he added you to that chat, we definitely gonna link up and talk.
Oh yeah, I did. You in the chat, bro. I got
it. Bet that.
All right, man. But listen, y'all can follow me. Y'all know NBR Pod 1 on Instagram, NBR Pod 1 on Twitter, Nothing But Raider Podcast on Facebook. And shout out to my boy Mike Lopez. Touchdown! For the $2 super chat, he said Tyree plus Renfro and Zamir plus a second for D Hunter or Brian Burns. How y'all feel about that right there?
Yeah, I'm gonna leave that alone.
Nah, we can't give up Tyree, dog.
I'm gonna leave that alone.
Yeah, we can't give up Tyree.
But we out of here, y'all. Make sure y'all comment, like, and subscribe to all of our channels, man. Follow us on all social medias. We are out. I'll see y'all. I'll probably go live tomorrow, or I'll probably do some videos tomorrow, but definitely Nothing But Raider Podcast on Tuesday. Commitment to Excellence on Thursday. We got to figure out a time for that. And Raider Rundown, if you want to come down on Tuesday or Thursday, just let me know, brother. And
we do Tuesday for sure, man. Yeah. We'll talk about it in the chat.
All right, say no more. So we out of here, y'all.
All right, brother, man.
Let's celebrate this win, and let's get on to Chicago. We out.
Raiders.
Yeah.
Peace out.
All right, y'all.
I didn't care as much about being respected as I cared from the standpoint of winning about being feared and being imitated. And then respect could come after that.